Hello and welcome to another episode of Magic the Gathering Arena. This is Mick and you are watching Session Zero Gaming. So today I want to feature this little brew I made at the start of at the release of Throne of Eldraine. Now when Throne of Eldraine came out, and when there was that grace period when people were still figuring out what decks they wanted to make, I decided that was a really good time to figure out what kind of deck I like, or to make a deck based on the color combinations that I've liked. And I thought, I had been playing Magic for a while back, before I began Magic the Gathering Arena. I did play Paper Magic, and I always knew that I was a blue-white player. Now they call it Azorius, but back then we used to just call it blue-white, and I liked sort of many combinations of blue-white, eventually settling for blue-white control, and that's what I wanted to feature today. I wanted to feature blue-white or Azorius, featuring the adventure cards of Throne of Eldraine. So, yeah, and actually, blue-white. Blue-white is the color combination that I actually started Magic with. So so it has a special place in my heart because that's really where I began. I just had a mash of cards while I was learning Magic the Gathering, and yeah, and then blue-white was my color. So I always identify, if anybody asks me what my color is, it's always going to be blue-white. Although I have become, as of late, tended to like blue and red a lot, and even mono black. But yeah, going back to my roots, it's Azorius today, featuring many adventure cards. One of which is, again, as I've said, my favorite card in Throne of Eldraine, which is Fae of Wishes, which let me do it this way. All right, Fae of Wishes, which lets the adventure effect granted lets you choose a non-creature card you own from outside the game. In this case, it's the sideboard. Reveal it and put it into your hand. So that is one of the core cards here. As I decided I wanted to make a control deck, and I thought, what better card to use for control than Fae of Wishes, because it can look for many different answers that I need. So there is that. So that's what began everything. That's what began with the idea of this deck. Plus, there are also several notable adventure cards that I like. In Throne of Eldraine, particularly Ardenvale Tactician, every time I use this card, it just feels good. When I use Dizzying Swoop to tap up to 2 target creatures, it feels like a very effective delaying spell. And then later on, I can cast it as a 2/3 flyer, a solid 2/3 flyer, which doesn't die to shock. So yeah, so that's Ardenvale Tactician, and then something I've never tested properly before, Giant Killer. This has been included in Selesnya adventure decks, which features Edgewall, Innkeeper, and I haven't really tested it, and I frankly don't really have much of a preference for it. Although it is a solid 1-drop, which goes online on the second turn, so that works with the strategy of delaying until I can reach up to 5 lands, during which I can use Realm Cloak Giant to cast off to destroy all non-giant creatures. So again, this is another adventure effect. And lastly, what I have here is Brazen Borrower, another solid card, which is a bounce, whose adventure effect is a bounce spell, which returns target non-land permanent an opponent controls to its owner's hand. So very good. Returns not just creatures, but returns enchantments, artifacts, and planeswalkers. So this is again. So the idea of the deck is to just delay as long as you can. The usual Azorius blue-white Azorius strategy, um, while building up mana in order to cast flyers. This deck is heavy on flyers, and so I feature this card, Empyrean Eagle, which is a very solid card, very strong in the pre-Throne of Eldraine metagame. With Azorius Flyers, still actually a good card. Still one of my favorite cards in M20, which I didn't expect I'd liked it as much. But whenever I use this card, or whenever I use the Azorius Flyers deck, it's a solid deck. It's not the fastest deck, but it's always a solid deck. So that's why I'm putting it here, because as you might notice, Arden Veil Tactician, Fae of Wishes, Brazen Borrower are all flyers. Okay, so this is another thing that can boost the strength of these flyers. Again, although the deck itself is not fast and it doesn't kill fast, but the idea is to maintain a solid. It's the traditional blue-white strategy. Now, in addition to that, I do feature another. This is the last creature, Rescuer Sphinx. This is from War of the Spark, and you don't really see people use it because what do I call this? Well, frankly, it doesn't really synergize with a lot of cards, because what it does is return a non-land permanent that I control, and it doesn't even have flash, so there is a concern for that. But I'm trying this out. I have one copy. Oh, actually, I have two copies. No, I have one copy of this, just to use it with the other with adventure creatures here in order to return them to my hand, so I could reuse the adventure effect while replacing them with a body, and it comes with a +1/+1 counter if I do that. Now the other effects, so you might notice that the other part of this is to be able to recycle and make the most of adventure effects by returning creatures to my hand. So there are a couple other cards that does the same thing, namely Portal of Sanctuary. This is an artifact, actually, an artifact that lets me return a creature I control and each aura attached to it to my hand, and I can only activate it during my turn, but again, it lets me return adventure creatures to my hand. It actually also saves my creatures on the turn that I use Realm Cloak Giant. Now the last bounce card here is Runaway Together, which returns 2 target creatures controlled by 2 different players. That means it's my opponent and me. I'm testing this out because I still need to see how this works. It does need 2 targets, so if my opponent doesn't have a target, or I don't have a target, I won't be able to play this, I believe, or at least that's what I think will happen. To augment the adventure effects, I have 3 copies of Lucky Clover here. Actually, I do have 4 copies, but one is in the sideboard. Okay, there. I have 3 copies of Lucky Clover, which lets me be able to copy the adventure effects, which creates tons of values. This is a staple of adventure decks. Now, what you might notice is, since this is Azorius, it doesn't have Edgewall Innkeeper, and perhaps I should consider splashing green just to be able to play Edgewall Innkeeper. That certainly is something to think about. But for now, I'd like to experiment a little bit with this blue-white build. I have Deputy of Detention here, another blue-white card that it didn't see much play prior to Throne of Eldraine, but it actually is a pretty solid card because it can exile a target non-land permanent and all non-land permanents that player controls with the same name until Deputy Detention leaves the battlefield. So again, this is a great early removal deck, early removal card. What else do I have here? Yeah, and Absorb a counters. I'm using this as a counter spell. Just this a counter spell as a counter spell package. It's not necessary to put Absorb here, but then at the same time, it's kind of nice to have it because it's thematic. And lastly, I have 2 copies of Chemist's Insight to serve as card draw. Now, I'd like to feature the sideboard here because it's one of the main highlights of this deck, which works well with Fae of Wishes. I have 2 copies of Negate here in case I need to counter planeswalkers and enchantments and artifacts. I have a copy of Lucky Clover here in case when I get to the mid game I have a bunch of adventure cards. I can search for Lucky Clover and then start gaining lots of value. I have Citywide Bust here. I'm trying this out. I don't see people play this, but I think it actually might be a solid card. It costs 3 and it destroys all creatures with toughness 4 or greater. Might be good against Gruul or red green or mono green and or even black green. The decks that feature creatures that have high power. A Portal of Sanctuary here. In case I need for it to come online. Teferi, Time Raveler here. A good counter to decks that play lots of instants. Actually, speaking of, it might be worth considering putting Teferi here in the main deck. But right now, I have several cards that I am testing. So that's why I'm opting not to put Teferi. But if I were to put Teferi here, I'd probably like move down 1 Lucky Clover and maybe remove Runaway Together entirely. I'll have to see. Or even maybe remove Portal of Sanctuary just to be able to put 3 Teferis. There's Ashok Dream Render against Reanimator decks. Conclave Tribunal removal. Speaking of, actually, you know what? Maybe I'd like to put 1 copy in the main deck as well, just because it's a solid card. Let me put 1 here, and let's remove 1 copy of Runaway Together. So I'm exchanging. There you go. So at least 1 copy Conclave Tribunal, but probably there could be like at least 2 copies there, or maybe I could put Prison Realm there. Or even Glass Casket if I want earlier game removal. Leyline of Sanctity against Burn decks and Mono Red. Not Mono Red. Yeah, Mono Red. Yeah, and Burn decks and discard decks. Time Wipe removal spell. Oh, I do have 2 copies of Time Wipe. I might put 2 of those instead. Planar Cleansing. I'm putting this just to test it. It does get rid of Planeswalkers as well. I have Magic Mirror here. Again, another card I'm testing. This actually does not work well because there's only 4 instants, or sorry, there's 6 instants. I don't know, 6, 7 instants. But then I got lots of the instants and sorceries. But then I got several of them here in the sideboard. I like this card. Probably not the best for this kind of deck, but I just want to see if I'll be able to use it. Finale of Glory for some late game as a late game finisher. And Mass Manipulation in case as a Tide Turner. So in case I have the mana, I can steal creatures if I have to. So I'm gonna play a couple games with this deck. Maybe 1 or 2 games, and we'll see how we do. So actually, I did build this deck early on when Throne of Eldraine came in. I just didn't record because I was still setting up my YouTube channel back then. But yeah, I'm revisiting it now because it's been sitting for a while. And since these days, around this time, there's already a meta game going with several decks that have proven better than others. So I want to see, since I haven't played this in a while, I want to see how this deck does with a lot of the popular decks in the meta. So this is a great hand. Actually, it's a very good hand, so I'm keeping that. We open up a Giant Killer. I think I'll put it down. Yeah, that's blue. So I'll put it down as early as I can, just so I have it online on the second turn if I have to. But also as a creature that I can use to attack early on. And then we'll, in case he puts something down, I'll put down Brazen Borrower to return it. Otherwise, we're sitting. Okay, so I'm thinking this is probably a Simic Flash deck with Night Pack Wolves, or not. Could be Abzan. Okay. But yeah, Cauldron Familiar. So I think in this kind of deck, we could take our time. I will get hit. Okay, so let me go and what do I want to do? I think I want to put down this island, and then we'll go Brazen Borrower in case he attacks. Or I could no tapping creatures doesn't really do anything, but Brazen Borrower in case he puts down something big. Otherwise, maybe I'll just stop Spectral Sailor. Just so I don't forget, I'm gonna put a stop at the first main phase. Yeah, he's gonna cycle with Witch's Oven and everything. Maybe next turn I could. Oh wait, I could have bounced this. Oh nah, not really. But anyway, next turn maybe you could Deputy of Detention to steal all the Cauldron Familiars or the Witch's Ovens and see how he does without it. Probably Witch's Oven. It's gonna be a little rough though because he's gonna be able to cycle Cauldron Familiar over and over. Let's hope he doesn't have Thought Erasure. No, that's a Shadow Mage. Not good. Don't have enough mana. This is because I went second.
I'm bored already.
So I'm gonna have to throw something away. Probably one of the Deputy of Detentions, or maybe should I throw the Brazen Borrower away? That might be a better idea actually. This sucks. Should I do that?
I don't think you'll be needing that.
Yeah, let's do it. Just throw it away. I'll just try to remove I'll try to remove Davriel and Cauldron Familiar, and Witch's Oven, I think. So now I'm just gonna tap the Sailor. Normally I wouldn't have wanted to throw away Brazen Borrower, but in this case I think it might be necessary. It's gonna attack us for 1. Play of Wishes, that's good. I'm gonna have to take 2 damage. We will play Deputy of Detention. Now the problem here is when I reach Realm Cloak Giant, I'm gonna lose Davriel, so that's actually something to consider. Something I didn't consider. So that might be a case against Deputy of Detention.
This wasn't part of our contract.
Okay, so I don't have mana to tap anything, but I can at least block the Cauldron Familiar with a Giant Killer. So I'll just take 1 damage from Spectral Sailor. He's running out of cards, so it might be possible to weather this attack. I mean, to weather all this damage. We'll see. Yeah. It's kind of rough. It's kind of rough. Oh, see, now we have Empyrean Eagle, so let's see. If I play this, I'll be able to block the Spectral Sailor. So now I gotta decide whether I wanna... Let's see, what do I want to do? I could remove Spectral Sailor instead. Or, you know what? If I Empyrean Eagle, I'll be able to stop the attacks, but I won't be able to stop the Familiar. And he might cast something significant. I might keep Deputy of Detention on hand instead. Let's play Empyrean Eagle. Yeah, let's play Empyrean Eagle. So I have a blocker for Spectral Sailor. We'll see what he does. I'm thinking he might have a Revenge of Ravens here or a Murderous Rider. We'll see. Okay, so right now I can attack with Deputy of Detention. Yeah, I'll do that. Or he has nothing. Okay. Right, he can block. That's right. I won't be able to do damage. So right now I'm just gonna have to hold. It's gonna be rough, but we're gonna try to weather the damage. Okay, he has another Witch's Oven. So now I can go Deputy Detention, get rid of the Witch's Ovens. For it's gonna be a 2-for-1 at least. Okay, another Empyrean Eagle. We're gonna go. It's not the best play really to do that, but then I'm stopping the cycle, so I think that's what I'll do. I'll go to Deputy Detention. You know what? I'll go attack first. Actually, nah. If I attack, he's gonna block. He's gonna use the Witch's Oven. So actually, let's not attack. Let's just go Deputy Detention immediately. He hasn't cast anything significant as of yet, so I don't know what he might have. Let's target Witch's Oven. Let's see if he sacrifices the familiar in response. He probably will trigger it twice. I'll lose 2 life here, but then I'll be able to stabilize somewhat. So now all he has is a cat that doesn't do anything, and the Sailor. He does get to draw with Spectral Sailor. Next turn, I don't know, he has 4 cards here, so I'm on the disadvantage here, but we'll see what he does. If he puts a significantly strong creature, then I'm gonna have to put Realm Cloak Giant, or I can use Giant Killer to keep it tapped. Right now, I can probably keep the Spectral... Well, I can keep the Spectral Sailor at bay. There you go. Murderous Rider chooses to get back the Witch's Ovens instead. It's a bit concerning because I'm not getting any land here, so... I'll probably just go on the offensive here. Or hold. I'll hold. Can't really do much right now. I'm just gonna hold for anything he might cast. I do need more land. So I'm losing the game because I'm getting mana screwed, even though I have 24 lands. So we can't really do much about that if the game goes like that. Somehow the deck has it so that you can have these draws where you won't see land even though you have enough land in the deck. And sometimes it's like 6 lands in a row, or no lands after 6 turns in a row, so which may actually require me to put more low cost card draw in the deck. Thought Erasure, we absorb. Hopefully it doesn't have another one. Wow, a Mystical Dispute. Like, wow. Anti-blue card, so what are we gonna do, right? So take your pick. I mean, who you main decks Mystical Dispute? What a strange deck. What a strange card to main deck. I guess he's really particular about blue cards might be because of Oko. You know what? It might actually be because of Oko decks, because Oko is highly unbalanced. Okay, so he didn't. Okay, okay. So at this point, I'm just gonna play Empyrean Eagle because you don't have much here except for Realm Cloak Giants. He's gonna just try to keep killing me with Witch's Oven, so I'm just gonna go on the offensive. Let's keep that down. This might actually be a good card to main. It's strange that you have to main deck an anti-blue spell, right? But then, you know, if cards are being made like that are just too powerful, then you gotta put cards like that in your deck. So at this point, if I don't draw land, I'm just gonna lose. It's kind of sad because my board state is not bad. It's just that I'm just not drawing any lands. So even though I have 24 lands, so I keep wondering maybe I should have 26 lands instead, or 28 lands, or 30 lands. I don't know why Magic has come to that at this point, but probably because they slow down the pace probably. At the same time. It's kind of strange because like 9 years ago when I used to play Paper Magic, 24 land was plenty already. Or I'm just not drawing land. It's just the way it is. Cavalier of Night. Okay, he does that instead of Deputy Detention. Well, he knows I can't cast any of the Realm Cloak Giants anyway. I might actually just concede. See, there's a Fabled Passage, but it's too late. I mean, he can just kill me. That's it. Yeah, you know what? I'll just concede because there's no point. Like, if I don't draw lands, then there's nothing I can do. So I think I'm gonna add lands instead. I mean, that was a relatively slow game. You know, if I had lands, I could have turned it over. But you know, I gotta make up for Arena's Shuffler, which they say is not broken, but yeah, I guess it's not broken. So okay. Oops. What? Plus? Nope. We're just gonna have to take their word for it. 25. I want to put 26. Maybe I'll remove. You know what? Let's remove Runaway Together completely. Giant Killer is okay. Actually, now that I've seen it, at least, yeah, I'll believe that it's yeah. I'll buy that it's an okay card. Even though I feel like I have a solid build here, I just keep getting hounded by bad card draw. So I gotta maybe put more card draw here, drop some of these adventure cards. Like, I don't want to do it, but let's see. Maybe I gotta drop this. Maybe I gotta drop this even. Let's see. Let's try a few things. And maybe I'll go for another game. Just so let's see if there would be a difference, a tangible difference. But I'm gonna have to figure some stuff out here. Let's see. Let's go for Opt. I did have Opt here earlier, but I removed it. But now maybe it's a good idea to have back. And then I'm gonna remove the Empyrean Eagles for now. Or I could remove two, but then I'll remove the Imperial Eagles for now. I'm gonna put Glass Casket here for as early game removal. I did remove the deputy detention because it just gets removed too easily. So so what I'm doing here is I'm hoping this would help me draw out the game much better. I'll remove the Portal of Sanctuary, probably not needed in this case. So okay, so maybe I'll put Teferi this time. See, I mean, this card is just strong. It's not as strong as back in the previous standard, but it's still a good card. I'm going to keep one of these. Actually, you know what? Maybe let's remove Rescuer Sphinx for now. The deck is good enough. I'll put another Realm Cult Giant. And then maybe put a what do we call this? Put a Prison Realm instead. Prison Realm, there you go. For Planeswalkers. So we have glass caskets for early game removal, and we have Prison Realm for Planeswalkers. Arden Veil Tactician, should I remove one? Probably need to remove two. Well, I'll remove one. And then maybe put another Teferi. There you go, two. Probably ideally there should be three, but yeah, we'll stick with two Teferis for now. It's not a good mix right now, but actually maybe I'll just remove one Giant Cube and put it to Teferi. There you go. That seems fine. Should I put more land? I don't know if I should. I'm already at 26 land, and then I put opts just in case I need to search for land in Fabled Passage here. We'll see. At this rate, I'm thinking, does this kind of deck require 30 lands, for example? 28 lands? Is that pretty normal? I don't know, is that the new normal? Seems a little excessive, and then you have instances where you just get flooded, so I don't know. Yeah, this is actually why Simic is very strong. It has lots of card draw, and it has lots of big spells that benefit from having more lands. I mean, it has mana fixing and everything. It has mana acceleration. So you don't see a lot of blue-white builds by themselves. It's often accompanied by green or black. Esper has been strong, and I should consider maybe Esper Adventure. That might be interesting. Also because Esper has hard removal, whereas here you still have hard removal, but it's much lower. I'm gonna keep this because it has opt, and it has a good mix of cards here. It has Lucky Clover, Arden Veil Tactician, and Brazen Borrower. So we got between these three cards, there's a lot of value, a lot of ways to delay your opponent. Also creatures. So hopefully this game goes much better than the last two. I mean, than not the last two, the first and the third. The second game didn't really have much in the way of things happening. Okay, Gruul Guildgate. Let's go up now. I'm not gonna wait for him to do anything. Fae of Wishes. Do I want that? Probably I do. I do probably want that in case I need to get a time wipe. So if this is red-green, it's not red-green. It's Gates. It's probably Golos. Okay, let's go put down this Plains. Put down Lucky Clover. So we have a couple turns, I think. Or at least one more turn. So, since Field of the Dead has been banned, people say that Golos deck isn't viable anymore. I don't really believe that. Because, I think the strength of the Golos deck and being able to use its effect doesn't just depend on Field of the Dead. If you are able to what do you call this? Trigger Golos, you'll be able to cast several spells, and several big spells even. And plus the Golos deck is really still a ramp deck. So it's a multicolor ramp deck, and you still have the solid gate cards like Gates Ablaze, Guild Summit. You have Gatebreaker Ram, things like that. So it's still a good archetype. It's just not as strong because it can't make tons of zombies anymore. Okay, so we're gonna go Fabled Passage. But I think it'll still be pretty good. Like, okay, I want to go 2 planes here. I might actually feature that, yeah. Post Field of the Dead Golos in probably another video soon. Okay, so right now, I'm just gonna go Fae of Wishes because he hasn't done anything yet. So just give me some time. Trigger 2 times because of Lucky Clover. Look at that. Look at how wonderful that is. We're gonna go. What should I do? Another Lucky Clover. No, I think I'll go to Fairy. And then I don't know what to do. Should I go? I go negate maybe. I'm gonna try Portal of Sanctuary here. I don't know what he's gonna do yet without the Field of the Dead. He can put down a Golos or he can put down a Ram, but then creatures would be much easier to deal with in this case. Okay, so right now, should I return the Royal Grazer? It's gonna be funny to do that. I'll put down Teferi and start ticking up. Do you have a counter spell? Probably just gonna put a creature. Yeah. Actually, should have.
My responsibility. Oh, I've done the hero thing before.
Okay. It's fine even if he puts a token. I can at least rid of that attack. I'm curious what he's gonna play. Probably Fires of Invention. It might be possible. Okay. Actually, he probably doesn't need Fires of Invention even. I mean, he has tons of mana already. I actually could be on the offensive now, but then I feel like I need more land.
Hey.
Plus, I don't want to waste out on the. I don't want to waste out on the adventure effects. We're gonna go Opt. That is a plains. I will keep that. You're gonna go plains. I guess I'll go Portal of Sanctuary. I love this art. Look at that. And we'll go return this token. No, he's gonna put another token. What am I doing? He's gonna die. No. You know what? Just because of that, I'm gonna put down this Fey of Vicious. I actually could just go Ardenvale Tactician. That is true. Well, actually, I don't want to waste that. Because this is gonna trigger 3 times. I can tap up to 6 creatures. When am I gonna need to do that? I don't know. In this kind of matchup. Oh, there you go. He has a Teferi as well. And then, oh no, he's gonna return my Fey of Wishes. But that does actually work to my advantage. He's gonna kill my Teferi, that's fine. This is gonna be a while.
Now what?
Brazen Borrower. Sad thing is here. Let's see. Do we want to keep mana for? We're gonna have to play something. I think I'll just go ahead and play Ardenvale Tactician. Because really at this point, I'm not delaying anyone anymore. There. We're gonna keep this like this. Plus, if I have to, I can just use Portal Sanctuary to put him back to my hand. Oh, you know what? I could play Brazen Borrower, return these 3. But then if I return this to Fairy, it's just giving him more chances to use the ability. So
I've got time.
see what he does. He's probably waiting to get something significant. Oh, he knows I have a negate. Hydroid Crassus, there you go. Lucky Clover. Okay, so what am I gonna do? If I bounce this, it is gonna let him use it again. I don't want that, but at the same time, I guess I'm fine with it. Let's do this. Let's return that. Trigger this. Trigger this. Oh, maybe I could have used Glass Casket on it. What am I doing? Well, anyway, it's fine. I forget that still just is just 2 CC. I just gave him more cards in life.
I really should have seen that coming.
What should I do? What should I do? What should I do? I'm going to play a... Should I play a Brazen Borrower here? Guess I could. Can I be greedy here? Let's just play this Lucky Clover. There. And then have mana for negate. We're in a good position. Nothing much has happened. We have so much more mana. And possibly so much more higher value cards. I have a bunch of cards that can get me cards and delay the game. So this game's gonna be a while. It's probably what I'm gonna feature instead of the other first few games where nothing much happened. If something interesting pops up. Okay, he's gonna play Hydroid Crassus. Draw 3 cards, gain 6 life. That's all he's gonna do. He's gonna do. I'm gonna Glass Casket that. My turn. I should have remembered. I could have just used Glass Casket. It would have been fine. It would have been fine. I just gave him cards in life. He probably has another one. See, this is where Deputy of Detention would have been great. Okay, so we're gonna go Glass Casket. Okay, we're hoping... Yeah, there it is. Perfect. Now I can start attacking. Let's attack first. What should I do? If I use Fae of Wishes, it's gonna trigger 3 times. I'm gonna get 4 cards, but I'm gonna end up discarding them. That's not great. Like, that's really not great. You know what? I'll just hold for now. Play a Brazen Borrower. At the end of his turn. So I still have mana for negate. Gatebreaker Ram, okay. Let's keep playing cards. What's probably gonna win me the game is because of my flyers. We're gonna delay him as often as we can. Oh, maybe that's what I should have used that for, but I already did. So that is what happened. I was hoping to cast this Brazen Borrower, but whatever. Let us return you. And you. And you 3 times. Oh, why did you give up? We were having an okay game. You probably figured out that I'm just gonna keep returning things. That wasn't much. Like, nothing much happened there either way. I did get the setup, so which is great. I could have, yeah, I could have gotten cards that would have eventually won me the game. So, although right now what I'm understanding is that the deck, I feel like I like how the deck is built right now, but I feel like I need something that will impact the game significantly in such a way that I can lock down a game. That's probably what's missing from here. So I'll definitely revisit this deck. Hopefully with whatever that is that I need to put in it. Although I am open for suggestions, definitely. If you like what you saw, do leave a like and a comment for what you would put, because right now I'm a little bit stuck. I think I've shown the strength of adventure in this color combination well enough, but it's just that not enough of a punch. That's what I'm getting. That's what I'm understanding here. So I will figure out something for this. Yeah, blue and white is a solid color combination. It's just very slow, and so there. If you liked what you saw, again, like and subscribe if you want to see more. And if you didn't like what you see, leave a dislike. Maybe comment below if what you didn't like in particular, or what you liked from the deck, or just give me a shout. I'm always open to hear feedback or hear from you people. Since this is a relatively new channel, and I'm always excited to see what people have to say, whatever it is that they say. So so let's open this booster though. Let's see what you get. Just to cap it off. Okay, Sirkara and Bella de Brol. Okay, Remark Knight. Alright. Vantress Gargoyle. I believe that's the 4th one, so I have a complete set now. Vantress Gargoyle. Okay. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. This has been Azorius Adventure.